What's up, guys? So, if you guys have been following my Instagram, you saw that I joined a new gym, and that is actually Umberger Performace, which is out in Robinson, Pennsylvania. It's near Carnegie. I'm going to take you along today, since they're alright with filming, so that's pretty cool. I can actually do a chat while we work out. I'm here a little bit early, that's why there's no one else here, so I gotta wait for the owner. Alright, guys, so I lied. The original plan for this was to definitely do a chat while we worked out, but this is my third day at the gym, and this is my first time actually filming for YouTube here at the gym, so I kind of didn't want to seem like the weird guy sitting in the corner talking to a camera all by himself. So we will get there, guys. These will become more YouTube-esque videos, but for now we're going to stick with these voiceovers. So today what I did was obviously max effort bench, which I have moved to Sunday. Both of my max efforts now are on Sunday because of my job, and my dynamic days are during the week. So worked up to 345 off a 4 block, which I got benchblokz. Once again, if you're following my Instagram, you would know that. And they come with programming. So I thought to myself, why not try it? Although it kind of does seem a tad extreme. So I'm not going to fully do it, but I'm going to do a pseudo version of it and see if I can add 30 pounds onto my bench here in 6 or 7 weeks. Basically, what you're supposed to do is, they say if you bench 200 pounds, you're supposed to start with 250 on a 5 block, then work down to a 4 block, 3 block, 2 block, 1 block, and then at the end of the, what would be 6 weeks, you have a 250 pound bench. Now, in my case, that would take me from 315 to 390 or 395, something like that, in 6 weeks, and that's just not realistic because you don't go from 3 plates to 4 plates in less than 2 months unless you're on some really good chemicals. Let's just say it that way. So I am only going to add, it's not quite 10%, it's like 9.9, but it's close enough. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a max effort single off of a 4 block this week, and then I did a double at 325 with a slingshot. Next week I'm going to do 345 off a 3 block and a double with a slingshot 330, a single always off the block, sorry. And then I'm going to do a single with a 2 block at 345, and then a double with 335 with a slingshot. And then by the time the block's over, those two numbers will have lined up, and I will have added, hopefully, pounds to my bench press. So now that we're about halfway through the video, I put all the weights on there so you guys can see what I'm doing. Basically, like I said, I worked up to 345 and then did 325 and then did back off sets with a slingshot, did sets of 6 with 260, and then I did a 4x5 with a 4 block with 260, and then moved into some shoulder flies, and finally I didn't actually film my dumbbell flies, which I do from the floor, and nor did I film my French press or push-ups because you guys know what push-ups look like. So, something I want to talk about here, and this is kind of the secondary part of the video, which I highly doubt any of you actually got this far, but genetics is kind of a huge thing in this sport. A lot of people, try to look at genetics as, I don't want to say a limitation, but they try to use genetics as a limitation. And in powerlifting, they're technically right. Genetics can be a limiting factor in powerlifting. Now, for basic fitness and everything like that, just to stay in shape or get in shape, genetics don't play that big of a role. Now, in a sport like this where, you're trying to get stronger, we all have different leverages. We're all built differently. And being built differently is genetics. So, someone like me who's, let's just say, an average male height, nobody correct me on that, but let's just say I'm an average male height,
I have incredibly short T-Rex arms. So basically, deadlifting for me really blows because I got to pick the bar up a really far away as opposed to someone who has really, really long arms. Now, on the flip side of that, on bench, my short arms are a good thing because I barely have any range of motion. Like I said, I just got these bench blocks, and they say you're supposed to start with a 5 block. I have to start with a 4 block because the 5 block sits on my chest when I unrack it. So I physically have no range of motion with a 5 block. Okay, so that's why my bench press, I think, has gone up exponentially since I actually started training bench seriously. Bench was never one of my favorite exercises. It still really isn't. I actually prefer deadlift, but after my injury with my back in September, things changed. I can no longer, I can't go heavy on deadlift. I can still work on it. I can still make it better, but I don't think my deadlift is ever going to be back to I think it'll get back to where it was. Let me rephrase that, but I don't think it's going to be an astronomical number. Now, bench, on the other hand, I seem to be built for bench. I've worked on my arch. I've worked on my arch a lot, actually. And I think that's part of the reason why, another reason why my bench has gone up. Plus, I've also worked on my sticking points. And that, was the biggest increase in my bench was just being able to figure out my sticking points and addressing them. But then I started to look at genetics, and I was like, okay, I have a decently sized chest. I have short arms, and I have minimal range of motion on a bench. So, I kind of got lucky with bench press, and maybe bench press is my exercise. Maybe I'm not a deadlifter like I wanted to be. Maybe I'm a bench presser. So, I don't know, guys. We'll see where this takes me. If you want to comment about genetics or if you disagree with me, go ahead, comment. We can discuss it. I always read your comments, guys. All the support is very much appreciated on this channel. So, guys, with that being said, the video is going to come to an end here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe. We got to grow the pound.